sing this song.
I don't even know why I try anymore. Even know I don't even know why I try anymore. Even anymore. Lonely nights, they keep calling out your name. These lonely nights, nothing ever feels the same. I try to move on, I try to let it go, but these lonely nights won't let me go. Maybe one day I'll wake up strong and this ache will finally be gone. But tonight I'm still right here, facing all the things I feel. These lonely nights, sing it back to me again. These lonely nights, tell me how the story ends. I'll find my way, but I don't know when. Till then, it's lonely nights, lonely nights, yeah. Lonely nights, oh
Boring Dynamite with a 35-minute overrun is boring. Do you realize that we waited all night to finish the show in an unnecessary, bizarre, weird, very unnatural, very forced way? Was Kenny Omega possessed? did we need to conduct an exorcism on Kenny Omega tonight? Why did we need to wait 35 minutes extra for the show to go off the air so that I could get a main event with El Clone? What's the point? Bro, does it feel like All In build? Or does it feel like All In is a house show? We're going to the beer garden. I got Jesse with me. I don't know how I feel tonight. I feel like a rant is coming on. So I need a cold one. And when I get there on this Wednesday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
It also isn't about excuses. WWE has failed creatively. AEW has failed fundamentally. So why did Triple H lose the plot? Why did Tony Khan abandon everything that made AEW special? Because nobody is committed to the one thing that actually matters: long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for your Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on this Wednesday evening, wherever you may be, joined by the one and only Chi-Town Smark himself, Jesse. What's going on, man?
How you know?
How you know?
How you know, bro? What's good with you, man?
Tranquilo, Jesse. Already, tranquilo.
All right. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it.
How you feeling?
Good, man. Good. Had a good day today. You know,
that's
what
good.
Can I say? Life, kids, you know, things like that. You know, I'm still waiting for two of my kids to go back to school.
Oh, yeah?
They haven't started back to school yet. I only got one that started school.
Are you looking to get rid of them already? The summer's been long, huh?
Bruh, I've been trying to get rid of these damn kids for weeks, man. God.
Oh, man.
God.
What does that mean, man? When they go back to school, what does that mean? You got the house all to yourself, the wife goes to work, you're home working, and then the kids are in school.
Now, the wife works nights, so she sleeps during the day. So, yeah, I got the day to be creative, to work on the channel, to not have to do anything father related until later in the afternoon. It's actually a beautiful thing. I can work around my house, get some yard work done, man. It's a beautiful thing, man.
That's good. Summer's almost over, man. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
It came and then it went. Goodbye.
Kind of happy, to be honest with you. I'm a fan of the fall, not the cold in the winter, but the fall. Football season starts. It's a good time of the year.
Football season for you folk. Pumpkin spice lattes for me, you know?
Yeah, man. Let's get it.
Love
Loving
it,
man.
You know what I wish would have come and gone? This show tonight, bro. 35 minutes of an overrun, man.
Yeah.
35 minutes. We waited 35 minutes to see El Clone wrestle in the main event. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
We also got to see the world champion.
Sure.
Let me ask you this.
You got to see the world champion.
I was talking to my chat about this. Is it just me? And I mean, I don't know. It doesn't feel like Kenny Omega is the AEW world champion, right?
Of course not. I mean, why would it? Why would it be? Everybody knows he's losing.
Yeah, it's seriously. He literally feels like a placeholder right now. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, with MJF, which everybody felt like champion when they were champion, Kenny Omega just feels like the dude that is gonna give Ospreay the title in London. You know, it does not. I mean, okay, so his first AEW title run felt normal. You know, it felt like any other world title run. This one legitimately feels like he's only here to hand Ospreay the title in London.
Yeah, my question is, after that great sit-down segment we got with Renee Paquette between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, which I thought was great. I would have watched 4 weeks of that and let them do that and let them go over everything that they have together in that type of setting. After that segment tonight, which I thought was the best thing on the entire show, why you send Kenny Omega out there to wrestle a match with the Bucks against the Don Callis bench players that does absolutely nothing, only to then send Will Ospreay back out there for Kenny Omega, and then for Kenny Omega to feel and look almost demonically possessed, like he was like he was like channeling his inner Mick Foley after he put Ospreay through the table. I mean, was the table spot and him kind of becoming psychotic necessary? I mean, less is more here. He left off with that great comment about Ospreay's son. Let him sit with that for 7 days. Why did we need the way the show ended tonight to happen tonight? I don't get it.
Yeah. So remember Spider-Man 3, you know, back in the day with Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
Kenny Omega feels like Tobey Maguire in the black Spider-Man suit. When he's walking down the street and he just feels like he's just trying so hard to be healed just to be healed for no valid reason. He's just trying to be a dick. I mean, and it does not feel like he actually believes the things he's saying and doing. Like it does not feel organic at all. He seriously reminds me of Tobey Maguire in the black Spider-Man suit.
I don't understand what they're doing. I really don't. I think they're legitimately trying way too hard to get across this narrative, whatever it may be, between Ospreay and Omega. After Ospreay told Jon Moxley and the Death Riders that he wanted nothing to do with them anymore and he needs to do this on his own, we get the Don Callis family interjected into this thing. Now they're both fighting the Don Callis family because they both had history with the Don Callis family. Meanwhile, the Don Callis family hasn't done a fucking thing. They haven't done anything to even be involved in this world title picture. So that's number one. Number two, all you needed to do was have Kenny Omega push that cleaner character a little bit harder and harder and harder every single week. And all you needed to tell as far as the story is Ospreay said he wanted to do it on his own, and Kenny continuing to push Ospreay and say, you can't get the job done. You're not ready for this spot. And so on and so forth. He claimed today in that sit down that Will Ospreay was not the guy that they called upon for Wrestle Kingdom 17 to sell tickets and fill the arena, fill the Tokyo Dome. They called me. They weren't calling you to fill the seats. They called me. You're not ready for that. Nobody's coming to buy a ticket to watch Will Ospreay. All he needed to do was continue to build upon that narrative that he's not ready and that he's not, going to fill the seats for AEW, and he's not ready to be the world champion. He's always going to forever be in Kenny Omega's shadow. And then at the end of the entire story, the climax of All In, he gets the job done. Like, I really totally did not even understand the table spot tonight. Like, what was the point of putting him through a table? What was the point of him even going back out there? What was the point of the 6-man tag team match tonight? I don't get any of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bro, does it feel like All In season 2? Does it feel like they're building to All In, or does it feel like they're building towards a fucking just rinky-dink pay-per-view? Does it feel like All In build?
It feels like a rush build.
Yes.
It feels like a rush build. It feels like they are trying to put together organic storylines over the last 3 to 4 weeks or so, when All In should be about feuds that have been brewing for at least over a half a year. We should be looking at the culmination of this super babyface is finally going to go up against this mega heel and try to dethrone him on the biggest stage that we have. Instead, it just looks like they just picked the main event and now they're trying to shoehorn some interest into it.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be. It should be the main event for this show should be something we have been just lusting for months, with months of a build, with everything happening for months leading to this moment. And that's not exactly what we're getting right now. It seems like a rush job.
You know, WWE has the Rumble, and the winner of the Rumble gets a championship opportunity, depending on whichever championship they go for. And there's enough build in between the Rumble and Mania for that to feel special, depending on who it is. You know, this year it could be Obafemi and him challenging Roman Reigns, and we crown the future of the company. You know, there are instances where a main event feels massive and groundbreaking, and a changing of the guard is about to happen. And those are special. Those don't come around all that often. This year we got Roman Reigns, a top guy already, biggest name in the industry, winning the Rumble. He gets CM Punk. They have a tremendous match at WrestleMania. They had 8 weeks of build, and it felt great starting out, and then it fizzled out. Here, with what Jesse just said and what we've been really talking about for, you know, every single week we've been on here, basically, AEW put the title on Kenny Omega in July, and then they started building this Will Ospreay match for Wembley Stadium in July. So you don't have enough time to even get across what you need to get across. And like Jesse said, and like I just tweeted out to promote the stream tonight, they're literally trying to cram everything into this last 2 or 3 weeks. We got 11 days before we get to Wembley Stadium. Tonight was a 2-hour and 35-minute show that they legitimately crammed everything into, and they got a go-home show still left to go. Why couldn't you save half of the shit you did tonight for next week's go-home show? If MJF was the champion, this would have been building and building and building for months and months and months and months. The dastardly heel going up against the company's top babyface in the biggest match of the year. Heel, babyface, changing to the guard. The fact that you got Kenny, a babyface, now wrestling Ospreay, a babyface, in the main event of Wembley Stadium for their biggest show of the year, with legitimately 8 weeks of build between both of them, and they're trying to go back on their fucking past history in the last 3 matches that they had. Bro, that's not enough. It feels rushed. It feels haphazardly put together. Like there's not enough emotion in everything that they're doing. And like tonight, you got a show like tonight, everything just feels incredibly forced. You're having Omega out there almost possessed, just trying to force something that really isn't there. You opted to go with this instead of the natural way of life with MJF. It's every week, Jesse, I come on here questioning why they made the decision that they made, and it's like I know we're beating a dead horse with it, but you know, 8 weeks ago I wasn't married, and I'm still not married to this Kenny Omega Will Ospreay match. It's not doing anything for me. It's not.
Yeah. I agree. They are trying out. I'll give them credit. They're trying their best to push this main event, you know, into the red to try to build as much interest as possible. I mean, there is an inherent interest for the average sicko to want to see Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay in the All-In main event. And they have not rested on that. They have made an attempt to, put some story behind this. They did not just say, that's the main event. Now we'll focus on everything else because we know you guys want to see this match. They put something behind it. But again, it just feels rushed. It feels absolutely rushed. And it shouldn't be. This match should have been marinating for months. You don't put together the main event to the biggest show of the year, a month and a half out of the event. I mean, that's not enough time to garner up enough interest to make people want to travel all the way to the UK, to be a part of this experience, to be a part of this, whole ordeal with this main event. It's just not enough. It's just another match and, another pay-per-view. And it doesn't feel like a big special event like it should.
No, and the way that I think, I'm already thinking about post All-In. If this is their biggest match to them, the biggest match that they have at their disposal, which we know is not, and this is the biggest show of the year, and he wins the championship, which we all know he will, how does post All-In look? If they can't get this right, if they're not getting this right the way that it needs to be, what does this mean for Will Ospreay's post All-In title run?
Well, we're going to get the match that we should have gotten at All-In. We're going to get MJF then.
Well, I don't think we're going to get that immediately. They're not going to send MJF out there to lose to Will Ospreay. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
It would be ridiculous.
I think he wins the Gauntlet.
That doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
I know. I mean, who knows with this fucking company? I think he wins the Gauntlet, and then he sits on the contract. I legitimately think he wins the contract. He wins the Gauntlet, wrestles Andrade at All Out. Whatever happens there, I mean, he's got the contract. I guess he can lose to Andrade. MJF takes a sabbatical again, comes back like he did at World's End, wins the title in December or January, February at Revolution, whatever it may be. And we give Ospreay a 6-month run with the championship. Let's see if Bruv can garner in the ratings. Let's see if he can generate interest as the world champion. I would give him 6 months to prove to everybody if he's the top guy, and he deserves more time with the title.
The brother is walking around with the Triple B claiming to be the real world champion. How much longer is he going to stay away from Ospreay after he wins?
I don't know.
He's literally walking around claiming to be the real world champion.
If he wins that Gauntlet match, he's got to cash in and promote the match a week ahead of time. So if he does it at All Out, why would he cash that contract in? Now, this is obviously if he wins the Gauntlet. Why would he cash that contract in for All Out to lose to Ospreay? Because they're not taking the belt off of him after he just beat Kenny Omega. So that would be a waste of MJF and the Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that Moxley is his first opponent. It almost has to be.
I don't know who's going to be first, but I don't expect MJF to be too far behind, as he is literally keeping himself in the world title picture by carrying around his CM Punk title.
Well, I mean, it's either he walks around as the Triple B champion on AEW Dynamite and parades himself around as the real world champion, which I don't know how long you expect him to do that before it gets fucking old. Or he goes, it's too late, yes. Or he goes away, because realistically, what else are you going to have him do? What is he going to go after, the fucking national title? Is he going to go after a mid-card title? What are we doing? They fucked up bad. They really fucked up here. Genuinely. When you start thinking about what they did here, they fucked up bad. All because Will Ospreay wanted what he wanted. And Will Ospreay wanted Omega. And tonight he gets his friends on a show that didn't even need to be there, and a match that didn't need to happen. I mean, we're just making this the Will Ospreay show. How long before you get tired of Will Ospreay? I'm already halfway there. And he's not even the fucking champion yet. And I've been the one saying that Will Ospreay's a great wrestler, which he is. We all know he is. There's nothing like a Will Ospreay match. He's one of the best wrestlers that they got. One of the best wrestlers in the world.
It's incredible.
But, man, you're going to make me tired of this guy before he even fucking steps foot in Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
Very forced. Jesse's correct. If you're feeling that same way, you are correct. It feels rushed. They put a lot into tonight's show. It's almost like they realized that they haven't done enough and they needed to just fucking go overboard tonight. And they still got 11 days to go. Half of the stuff that they did tonight could have been saved for next week. What else on the show tonight, Jesse, did you catch interest in? I know that sit down, we'll talk about what they said, Ospreay and Omega. Willow and Mercedes had a very, very good segment. I wouldn't call it better than Ospreay and Omega, but I mean, even that, they did a big pull-apart brawl. That's something you usually see on the go-home show to get you ready for the pay-per-view. They did that all tonight.
Yeah. So this to be clear, I mean, if you didn't watch the show and you're asking what we thought about the show, I thought the show was pretty good tonight. I'm gonna look at it in a vacuum and take it for what it was worth, and beginning to end, and what was on the line. I think they accomplished enough. They kept everyone interested. They moved some things ahead, and there was some good matches. The show was good. The things we are complaining about is the total build for All In and how they've dropped the ball with this main event choice, the way they're going about it. And to be honest, I don't know if there is a right way to go about this build, because the fact of the matter is there just wasn't enough time to get an all-in main event build in the amount of time they started building it. So there was no right way to do this. You needed more time, and it should have been MJF, because your build started right there. He was already the top heel. He was already the guy that Will Ospreay needed to dethrone in front of his hometown to be crowned. It was always MJF. You know what I'm saying? The guy who just runs roughshod, just disrespecting anybody he feels fit. And Ospreay's tired of it, and he wants to save AEW from this piece of shit going around and just doing whatever he wants. That bill was already there for you before you even started a bill.
Yep.
So then when you started it, then it's just going to intensify and get even better. But instead, you yanked it away, went back to zero, gave us a fresh match and a fresh feud, and now you're trying to cram everything in a short amount of time, and we can feel it. It feels rushed, and it's affecting the build. So that's the disappointing part about the overall feel of the last couple of weeks going into All In.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way, and I felt that throughout the night, for sure. We'll get into the rest of this show. We'll talk about Mercedes and Willow. We'll talk about the sit-down and what was said between Omega and Ospreay. There was a couple of Continental Cup quarterfinal matches, one with Jay White and Jon Moxley, which, I mean, the bare bones of the match was good. But my God, man, I mean, what are we doing with Jay White? Was it so difficult to give Jay White a fucking win today? And throw a little dose of unpredictability into this very predictable tournament? Like, I don't really understand what we're doing there. And then on the flip side, you had Nigel McGuinness, who's a fucking color commentator, well past his prime, in the ring with Hechicero, who I don't really give a shit about. I don't really know who does. But he's the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion. Yes.
Very.
You had a color commentator beat a partner promotion to AEW, their world champion.
With one leg.
With one leg?
One-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
To do what? To give him another hometown match in Wembley Stadium? How is this going to be any different than the one that he had last year? Well, not last year. They were in Texas last year. The year before that, where he showed up in the Gauntlet match. Are we really looking at McGuinness and Moxley at Wembley Stadium? Who asked for that? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't really understand. Well, we'll get into it because we talked about this on Tuesday Night Titans last night. Jason came up with a whole fucking idea about Moxley losing. And then Moxley going into the Gauntlet and maybe winning the Gauntlet and then cashing in the contract to wrestle Ospreay All Out. And give Jay White the fucking match. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. We'll talk about that. And then Maya World, what happened with Maya World? She defended the TBS title against three other women, Persephone, Sheeta, and Statlander.
And of all of them, who did she pin?
I don't get it, bro. What has that woman done to anybody?
They really hate Stat, don't they?
Gotta be.
They really
She must have done something to piss somebody off.
I don't get it. What the hell?
We'll talk about the rest of this show. This is your AEW Dynamite post show right here for your Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. Follow us on social media at JD from NY206, at Chi-Town Smart. Make sure you guys go and check out Jesse on YouTube as well, at Chi-Town Smart. Anything going on over there, bro? You want to update the fine people of our chat? What's going on with you?
Yes, sir. You guys have been asking for it. It has already begun. The OTS Family Official Fantasy League Season 2 is now underway. Send me your applications, i.e. send me your email addresses in a DM to me on Twitter. And first come, first serve basis, I will get you in. The live draft will be 1 week from tomorrow. 1 week from tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, I believe it is. I only have about, what do I have about? I think I got about 8 spots left. So if you are interested, and please have some experience on how to do fantasy football, please. I will be vetting. So let me know. Send me your email address. I'll get you guys signed up. 1 week from tomorrow is the live draft. Let's go.
There you go. The winner of this draft chest, are they getting any prizes?
Ooh, yes. I forgot. So there is no fee to join this league. It is free. But the kind gentleman next to me will be offering a prize to the winner.
Or prizes.
Prizes to the winner of the Fantasy Football League, the OTS Family Official Fantasy Football League Season 2. It'll be provided. We will let you guys know a little bit later when we narrow it down. But yes, I will be rewarding the winner this year. So is my friend here right next to me, and let's have some fun, man.
I'll scrounge something up around here or in my my Atlantic City apartment. I'm sure I got something I could give away. You know, some OTS merch, some unopened action figures or something, some WWE figs for you collectors out there, something. I don't know. We'll put a little basket together, you know?
There we go. Yeah. Anything is appreciated, because let's not forget, it is a free league. You are getting something for nothing.
There you go. And then there will be content. I know we both have Patreon pages. I got caught up with just shit around the house here today. I wanted to do a match review series today. I didn't get to it, but on my Patreon, we uploaded a couple of lost episodes of Off the Script, episode 4 and episode 5, back in March of 2014. That's going into WrestleMania season that year. So my Patreons, you got that today in audio form, uploaded in the highest possible quality that I could give you. And then on Jesse's Patreon, we are going to get together to do something special for you guys. I think we're going to be doing that hopefully next week. And yes, keep an eye out for that. It'll be nice to watch something that actually makes sense. But we're bringing you a review of a show that we're going to be watching periodically. And we're going to discuss. And we're going to dive into something new. And it's only going to be available on Jesse's Patreon. That's all I'll say.
It's going to be fun.
That's all I'll say.
Fun time watching wrestling. Can you imagine?
I don't know, man. I forgot what that feels like.
I can't wait, man. I have another idea when we finally get through all of this. When we're done with that, I have another idea to start a new series.
All right. Let's get this started first, and then we'll figure that out. But that's coming, so you got some stuff to look forward to. Follow me on social media. Like I said, everything you need is linked down below in the description. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 700 likes today. We are already halfway there, so make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment as well. Helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. If you guys feel up to it, super chats are open. They are never required, always appreciated. So get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. And go check out all the content on the channel. We were live on Monday. Great show on Monday. Tuesday Night Titans rocking and rolling last night. Jason and I, in a slow week, gave you the best discussion all week. So go and check that out. Jesse and I are obviously live tonight, Friday. I'll be live for SmackDown right here. Kevin Owens and CM Punk for the WWE Championship. I don't know, Jesse. I know you don't watch SmackDown, but I think that may be worth a watch along.
I honestly would. I honestly really would watch it. I know that's the main event. I'm actually interested in it. But I cannot. I have a high school football game I'll be going to on Friday, and my son has basketball practice.
There you go. All right, fatherly duties. I'm sure it won't be the last match that they have, but
yeah.
I'll
watch it.
Yeah, that is happening on Friday. First time ever, Punk and Owens WWE title on SmackDown. I will be live for that, so make sure you guys go and look forward to that. And that's all we got here. Let's get into this AEW Dynamite review. And just a side note, House of Glory does have a couple of road shows coming up. I will be in Los Angeles with the Monster. On September 4th, I'll be there. Show is taking place. That's Labor Day week, that Friday. And I'll be home for that Saturday night's main event or Sunday night's main event that weekend, because I know they just announced Obafemi and Braun Breaker and then Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes for that big show. So I will be in Los Angeles with him for House of Glory Fallout, and then we'll be in Chicago at the end of the month of September. And we'll be doing Windy City Warfare from Logan Square Auditorium. That is actually happening right before All Out. So that's happening Friday, and then Saturday's All Out, and that big Worlds Collide show as well that WWE's putting on at the Allstate Arena. Punk will be at the Allstate Arena. He will be a part of that Worlds Collide show. It's already been announced. So lots of stuff to come and a lot of good stuff to look forward to. So,
what happened? I thought we were doing the other venue.
No, we're this one was already kind of in the works, so I think the next one, we're doing something else possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You said that's not my part of town, so I may have gotten away with this one here.
Oh, I cannot wait to get man.
How far is that from where I usually stay in Chicago? You know where I stay. How far is it further to get to that venue to do that show than it is at Logan Square?
So you're not going to be staying out by Logan Square if you're going to the other spot. So, I mean, from Logan Square to over to the other spot is probably about 45 minutes.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
So from my hotel that I stay at in Wicker Park, it's going to be near an hour to get to the other place.
Close, yeah, with traffic.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man. Yep. And there's no easy way to get there. It's a lot of side streets.
So I may have to find like a bougie area in between then.
You can. It's not. Look, it's not the fucking hood. It's not that bad. It's just not bougie town. That's all, man. You'll be fine.
I need a nice roastery and a nice cocktail joint, man. I don't know if that's going to be available.
To be honest, it'll be easier for you if you just fly into Midway and stay out at one of the hotels out by Midway. You'll be fine. Be closer.
We'll figure it out. It out. Let's start this Dynamite post show here off with Will Ospreay and his boys from New Japan, Francesco, Akira, and Hanare, Jesse.
I'm sorry. Oh, are you talking about AEW? Did you leave the fucking forbidden door open?
Francesco, Akira, and Hanare.
Did you leave the forbidden door open?
I don't know. I think Tony Khan had left the forbidden door open. I don't know the last time it's been closed. It's been open for the last 6 years now.
Fucking hell, man.
Yes, Will Ospreay, Francesco Akira, and Hanare against Brian Cage, Rocky Romero, and Lance Archer. 6-man tag team match here. Jesse, my question to you is, seeing that this opened the show and we all thought that this might have something to do with the main event or some progression, some story, some build to Ospreay and Omega, did you find any reason why this match needed to take place tonight? Did you feel like this did anything fruitful for the main event of Allin?
I would say no. I mean, in all fairness, you can say that for pretty much any match that happens, though. I mean, this one didn't either. No, not at all. was just a match. I don't understand. Me, I'm not jeopardizing my all-in main event by having my two guys who both have injury issues. And in a recent injury, I'm not putting them in random matches 2 weeks before the biggest show of the year. You can have them on TV. They can do promo segments. They can do the stuff they did tonight, beat down stuff. I'm not putting them in matches.
Chris in the chat says
Right
all
before
this match needed was an Ishii run-in to be a Tony Khan classic.
Bro.
Oh my God.
You don't need those two guys wrestling right now at this point. They would be on a serious bump counter. I mean, look, we need to get them to all in one piece. Have them on TV, have them get in each other's faces, promos, sit down, beat down angles. You're not doing a match.
Oh, but shout out Smock. When was the last time Roman Reigns and CM Punk wrestled on TV, Jesse?
I don't know, never.
They don't need to wrestle on TV. They're stars. Treat Will Ospreay like a star. He doesn't need to wrestle on TV every fucking week. You are correct, Jesse. Tony Khan has a problem with putting his main event guys in matches every week that don't mean anything. Give us an interest in watching or wanting to watch Will Ospreay wrestle. Make his appearances feel special. How special is it for Will Ospreay, for us as fans, to watch Will Ospreay wrestle Rocky Romero? Does anybody raise their hand and look at Tony Khan and bring up any of this in those so-called creative meetings or what? Because I know I would.
Man, you have so many people on this roster. You have so many guys and girls that you can fill a show with interesting television for. You don't need Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega to wrestle. You really don't. All you need to do is have them on TV with a live microphone to help build interest for this match. That's all you need.
They gave us a 10-minute sit-down with these two guys, Ospreay and Omega. That's all you legitimately needed on this show. That's it. That's it. A pre-tape. Yet you got him out there for 10 minutes, and then he's in the main event segment for another 5 minutes. 25 minutes of this show was taken up by Will Ospreay. And 2 of those 3 segments were physical segments. Like Jesse said, if I am Tony Khan, I'm protecting my main event. Can you imagine he gets hurt 10 days before All In?
Yep.
What do you do there? Max, we need you. Yeah, too late for that, bro.
You got to protect your main event, man. There is no reason for them to be wrestling right now. The matches that they wrestled in where they risked injury, every time that bell rings, they're in the match. The potential for an injury is drastically increased. Now what?
Oh my God. Chair shot in the chat says, creative? You mean TK in a room talking to himself with a cup of coffee? Yeah, I guess that's the way it goes down. I don't know. You may be onto something there, Chair shot.
Yeah, so every time the bell rings, you are risking injury to your main event. Not only that, again, these guys have recent injury history. Like, what? I don't get it. Like, I sincerely do not get it, bro. You are running the risk of really fucking up the card for not just these 2 guys, but everybody involved. Everybody on that show was counting on this fucking payday. All of them. And you're running the risk of fucking up that main event for no reason. For no reason. I don't get it.
Shout out to Brian Cage. Brian Cage looks fucking phenomenal, doesn't he?
He's huge.
What is he doing in the Don Callis family? And why are we wasting someone that looks like Brian Cage? I don't understand it. Guy got himself into even better shape after he came back, and they still opt to do nothing with Brian Cage.
The consensus is they don't know how to book big men.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Which is why they let Big Bill go, Big Cass go. Which is why Keith Lee is not on TV and Wardlow is somewhere to be fucking never seen again. I don't know, but Ospreay, Henare, and Akira win in 10 minutes. This did nothing to forward any progression of their story with Omega and Ospreay. And the match went off with basically filler. It was all filler. This was basically Will Ospreay and friends wanting to compete on Wednesday Night Dynamite with no follow-up. That's all this was. All friends wrestling. So we go out of that match to Renee interviewing Kazuchika Okada. He's backstage talking about Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. That is a triple threat match taking place at Allin for the international title. Could very well be the match of the night if you let them go. I'm sure Tony will, but that is going to be a tremendous match. She said Fletcher was less than convinced when Don Callis sold this as a good thing to almost assure the title stays in the Don Callis family. Okada says he will be happy for Fletcher if he retains the title and keeps it in the family. But he is excited and said if he wins the title, I expect Kyle to be happy for me. He says he would expect him to raise his hand in the center of the ring if he truly means what he says when he says family is everything. I thought Okada handled himself well here, speaking English in this promo.
It's getting very good.
He got a lot better. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that match. There really isn't a lot of build. They really haven't put a lot of effort into doing much here, but I thought this was a solid segment here for Okada. And then right after that segment was over, we had Tony Schiavone in the ring, and he brings out Kyle Fletcher. Before we get to Kyle Fletcher, Jesse, we had the opening match take place with the Don Callis family. Okada, segment with Renee, Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher in the ring with Tony Schiavone, Don Callis family. Is there a Don Callis family overload on these shows week by week? How are you feeling about the Don Callis brigade every single week?
Bro, we've been saying this for months. That nothing has changed, of course. Nothing has changed. We had everybody from the Don Callis family on TV tonight except Don Callis. Don Callis' name was mentioned more times than anybody ever who has not been on the show because of the Don Callis family. There's just too many of them. Most of them are meaningless, and they're just taking away from the guys that actually do have some meaning on the show. Not everybody needs to be in a Don Callis family. I could think of literally at least one of the top guys in that family that absolutely should not be there, and that's Kevin Knight. He is actually being hurt by being on the Don Callis
100%. He don't, bro. He comes out, he gets zero reaction.
Yep. You know, he needs to be. You know, we talked about a couple weeks before about who would be his mouthpiece because he does need a mouthpiece. And we watched Serpentico come out there tonight and claim to be MJF's Mexican translator, or Spanish
which
translator.
he did a very good job, by the way.
This guy is gold. This guy is gold. He is up there with Stokely. He is up there with Don Callis. He is a fantastic heel manager. Put that guy with Kevin Knight. I mean, just give him a fantastic mouthpiece and he'll be fine on his own. He does not need the Don Callis family.
You know, we talked about, we'll get to Kevin Knight. I don't want to jump ahead here because he had one of the last segments of the night. They are absolutely wasting not only Kevin Knight, but his TNT title run. It is so not working, and none of it is interesting whatsoever. I feel nothing when Kevin Knight comes on TV as far as his character work. You would think that being in the Don Callis family, he would be as big of a heel as Kyle Fletcher is. And he's not even 1/10 of the heel Kyle Fletcher is. How is that possible? It goes to show you that it just may be Kevin Knight that's the problem. I don't know. So Kenny Omega, actually, Kyle Fletcher, speaking of the Don Callis family, Kyle Fletcher was the next segment. So Excalibur did mention that Don Callis, he was vacationing on a beach in Greece. That's supposedly where he was. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but good for him.
In a greasy beach?
Maybe. Maybe he's in Atlantic City. I don't know. Their beaches are kind of greasy. Fletcher says they are in the midst of the greatest international title reign of all time. Now, I don't know if that's genuinely factual. Like, Fletcher's a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. He's incredible. But is this the greatest international title reign of all time? I don't think so. I mean, the only one that really sticks out in my memory is Orange Cassidy's. Remember him? He opened the show every week, Jesse, defending the championship. He had like 26 straight defenses. He went till the wheels fell off. Remember that?
What are you expecting to come on and say? I am the second greatest. What are you expecting to say?
I expect him to not say it because it's just factually untrue.
If you're a heel, it's absolutely true. I'm the greatest of all time.
Sure.
What do you expect the guy to say?
For a company that really loves to throw their history in your face, then they when they don't want to, then they oversight this. So he says it doesn't have to end anytime soon, especially not at Wembley Stadium. He said he agrees with Okada that family means everything. He said Callis has done so much for him and owes him so much. He said he trusts him with all of his heart, and he's willing to go along with the plan. So fans then started to chant, "Fuck Don Callis, fuck Ice too." I don't know why we're still on that, but good for you, Baltimore. Good for you, man. You paid your money, you get to chant whatever you want, even though it doesn't make any fucking sense in this context. Fletcher says he has to keep his word and have his back and make sure he retains the title. So he expects Okada to have his back and make sure he keeps the title. He says they do share a common hatred for Takeshita, who said he lost the G1 tournament, and then he sarcastically congratulated him for losing. He says he thinks he's the most selfish, narcissistic jerk he's ever interacted with. And then out comes Konosuke Takeshita, who came to the ring, and he takes off his shirt. And they brawl in the middle of the ring. They exchange moves. It's almost like we got a mini wrestling match here. Takeshita landed a poison rana and a power drive knee, followed by raging fire on Kyle Fletcher. He picked up the international title, and that's the way the segment went and ended. I mean, this was good stuff. I mean, at least they did something. Last week, they didn't do anything. At least they actually had a little physicality and a little bit more emotion, Jesse, as all three men want the same thing, and that's the international championship, two of which are in the Don Callis family.
Yeah. I mean,
I know there's not much to work on here. I understand.
No, but the thing is, these are the top guys in the Don Callis family. This is actually the core. These are actually the best guys in the family, and they don't get along. So what is the family exactly? I mean, if the best guys in the family don't get along, how much of a family is it really, though? I mean, one would think that the least the Don Callis family can get along with each other. I mean, Takeshita did not. That's why he's out. Fine. But now Okada and Fletcher don't get along. I mean, so what are we doing here?
I don't know.
Nobody, they were fucking arguing with Kevin Knight. Nobody in the Don Callis family is even getting along themselves. What is the purpose?
So why are they even in the same faction together?
Why? It's overcrowded. Nobody's getting along. Nobody's getting over because of it. What are we doing here? What is the purpose of this family?
I don't know. It's a good question. You can't answer that one, TK. We're just going to run the fucking Don Callis family into the ground on Dynamite with every fucking segment, every week. I don't know. Should be a good match, though. Looking forward to the match. I love Takeshita. I love Fletcher. I think they're both great wrestlers. Okada is, shows up for these big shows. I guess maybe he'll show up to work on August 30th. Who knows? Who knows what Okada we're going to get at Wembley Stadium. Should be a good match, though. Renee. She interviewed Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay in a sit-down interview in a dark room. It was very dimly lit. It was like they were having a romantic dinner together. Ospreay said he admired Omega's work in New Japan. Omega said in a smug tone he liked to keep the flavor of the week wrestlers, close to the vest. He liked to keep up on the flavor of the week wrestlers just to keep an eye on them. And he wasn't that impressed by Ospreay when he first started out in New Japan. but he saw potential in Will Ospreay. He says he went from a skinny kid to the face of New Japan, and he filled my shoes in my absence. He then said New Japan needed him to return to sell tickets and sell pay-per-views, but unfortunately for Will Ospreay's name alone didn't do it, but Kenny Omega's name does sell tickets and fill the Tokyo Dome. So he threw that in Will Ospreay's face. So we let him know that it was all him that sold out Wrestle Kingdom 17 and not Will Ospreay. So Ospreay said Omega built the company off of the broken backs of Tanahashi and Naito and Okada. He says their versions of COVID were entirely different things for each other. Ospreay said during COVID he had to do 15-hour flights and was stuck in small hotel rooms the size of a broom closet, while Omega had cozy 3-hour drives in Florida. He says he had to wrestle in front of forced silence in Japan when Omega couldn't have had ever handled that. He said half the roster was starving at the time, but Omega was not. He says he and the United Empire had to breathe and breathe life into New Japan. He told him not to throw attendance at him in the way that he is. He said Omega couldn't have handled what Ospreay did for New Japan during COVID. I guess he's correct in that sense, right, Jesse? You and I were here live covering Dynamite in the midst of COVID. I mean, I don't want to go back to that time period, but I think AEW handled COVID better than WWE handled COVID. I mean, it was the same everywhere, but I'm assuming Ospreay, just looking at what we heard about coming out of Japan, that Ospreay had it much, much, much more difficult than Kenny Omega did. Kenny Omega almost had it easy being in Florida. I mean, everybody descended upon Florida during COVID. It was the only place that fucking let people work.
Yes. Everybody got fucking COVID. Everybody got infected. But no, mostly because of AEW Dark, man. I mean, it was AEW just had a nice functioning program over there with the Daily Center. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, AEW Dark was the most important wrestling show during all of COVID, honestly.
Yeah, the whole thing sucked. Everybody agreed, you know, in totality, it all sucked. But for what it was, you know, Dark was pretty damn good. You know?
Yeah, Dark was good. It was very important. Now it's called Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Now it's Ring of Honor. Omega said he did 3-hour drives and fans couldn't attend. Omega said if New Japan, had allowed fans in the building, would they have been that loud for Ospreay? Renee asked about Omega joining the Don Callis family. Omega talked about all the titles he won. He said he felt Callis had his best interests in mind, but eventually he realized he didn't. He says he could then become a cautionary tale for people like Will, tell him how bad Don Callis really is. And he said he had grown to respect Will Ospreay. He said Ospreay didn't have to make the mistakes he made. Ospreay then said Omega, he still has the scars from when he DDT'd him into the corner turnbuckle. Omega said Ospreay isn't proud of his win because he didn't use Don Callis in their match at the Tokyo Dome, but he used Callis in their match at Forbidden Door. Ospreay interjected and said that situation keeps him up at night. He said everyone online said he needed Don Callis to win. Omega then said the win was tainted. He said he forgives him now because he's admitting he couldn't have beat him without Don Callis and without a screwdriver. So he says it feels like he's beat him twice now rather than it being one-on-one or one-on-one. He said this match is just Ospreay desperately searching for a way to reach his level. Omega then got irritated when Renee brought up his diverticulitis. He cut her off. Omega says he can't train or eat the way that he used to, but that forced him to adjust for the better. Instead of being the wrestler that he is now with diverticulitis, he's got to think more. So he uses his brain more. He asks Ospreay if he's better off after his surgery to replace the 3 discs in his neck. Omega says he's at the top of his game and better than ever. So what makes him believe that Ospreay has a chance now? He says he has a chip on his shoulder. Ospreay then said Omega has never seen him as his equal. That's the problem. Omega asked if Ospreay really wanted him to return to his form, or did he want him to suffer and be a weakened state because beating him at Wembley would be easier than beating MJF. Ospreay then got angry and said that's a load of bullshit. He says he doesn't deserve the title if he doesn't beat the best version of Omega. See, that's all the story needed to be there. Push him to the brink and push him to fucking be the best version of himself, because Kenny has obviously felt and had the taste of what it means to be a world champion here in AEW, be the top of AEW. I mean, God forbid he was the belt collector, you know? So he knows what it means to be the leader of the company. Now he's looking at someone that wants desperately to be that leader that Omega was. That's all this story needed to be. And like we talked about in the opening here on the show, everything just now feels very forced because they're trying to create something that just really isn't there. So he said it means so much to him and so many others for this match. His family, his wife, his kid is going to be there, his countrymen. He said no Englishman has ever won a world title on home soil. So he says he can't crumble now and he has to be better than him, away from Don Callis, away from the Death Riders. He says it's been a 10-year chase to prove he's better than Omega, and he's going to do it by himself with pride. Omega said the last time he tried, he failed. He says he'll fail again in front of his family and friends. He says even if Ospreay loses, his mom will still be proud of him. That's when Ospreay really got mad. But he's not so sure if his son will be proud. So Ospreay then kind of lunged at Omega, and they showed Omega kind of walking off, and that's the way the sit-down ended. I thought this was good, but you know, Jesse, the one thing that I noticed here, and we briefly touched upon it in the open here when we talked about the ending of the show with him going through the table. Omega did the one-winged angel through the table on Ospreay. He's almost acting deranged. He's acting like psychotic. He's coming off very like cocky. He's got this smug attitude to himself. Now, I mean, we didn't really see that Omega until this week. So it's like they pulled another character trait out of their fucking bag of tricks here to give Kenny Omega some kind of character, some kind of edge going into this match. And like you said, and like we've discussed, it all feels terribly fucking rushed and forced. Like, does Omega need to wear the 7 faces of Omega here going into this match with Will Ospreay? Or what? Like, they should have just kept it very simple, and I feel like they've done now too much.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like I said, we touched on this earlier. I mean, it feels a little forced at times, but 100% rushed. Like, they realize, okay, we got this much time left before All In. Now we got to try to make it personal, you know, which, I mean, again, I myself suggested making it personal here last week because we're getting down to that moment when we have to. We've got to crank this into high gear. And it does feel a little rushed because of that. So, I mean, unfortunately, it's probably necessary because the time is running out and we need to garner up some more interest. But unfortunately, the side effect to that is it does feel a little bit rushed right now.
So that wasn't the last we would see of these two tonight, as they did come out again at the end of the show. We had a fatal four-way here for the TBS Women's Championship. Maya World defends against Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida, and the CMLL Women's Champion, Jesse, Persephone. What'd you think of this match, Jesse?
5-star match.
Five-star match. Okay.
5-star match. No notes. Everything went great.
Everything went fantastic, according to Jesse. I say otherwise, but we'll pick it up after the commercial break here. Persephone spiked Stat with a German. She goes for a cover. She gets a 2. Persephone then starts arguing with the referee. This allowed Maya World to come in with a double stomp. Shida starts attacking from behind. Big underhook suplex. So then we get Maya joining in the fray, cutting off Persephone. Statlander, German suplex Maya World out of the corner. Dodged a Shida drop kick and hit a flatliner, leg sweep, and then a double senton, got a near fall. Maya and Stat, they show respect to each other, and then they start going blow for blow in the middle of the ring. Stat tried a Death Valley driver. Shida comes in with a missile drop kick, hits Stat with a Falcon Arrow. Statlander kips up out of a pin right into a Persephone spear. So Persephone and Sheeta then starts going at it. Persephone connects on a big shotgun dropkick. Maya, she tried to sneak in a 3 count here, only got a near fall, and then runs into a Sheeta knee. So Persephone at the end here tried to raise her edge. Statlander saves Sheeta, only to powerbomb herself down. Statlander comes in and takes out Persephone with a big lariat. Maya comes in, flew in out of nowhere with a swanton off the top. She then tried a bridging fall-away slam. Statlander countered. She went for Wednesday Night Fever, only to get rolled up in a flash pin by Maya World to retain the TBS title by pinning Chris Statlander. You know, Jesse, I remember once upon a time they had Stat beat Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné in back-to-back months.
Yeah.
Now she can't even get a win over fucking Maya World.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I know.
I had Stat as the best female talent they had in that locker room, man. And she's just not being booked and treated as such. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I feel like she really pissed somebody off or something. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I'm like a broken record with Chris Statlander. She is by far my favorite female wrestler in the company, and they seemingly don't agree, and she's just fluff for them. And I think it's a huge waste of talent. I sincerely believe that.
Chris Statlander is one of many talents in this company that would be better off elsewhere.
Probably, yes.
100%.
Yeah.
She has outlived her time in AEW. Well, the company, I would say, has moved on from Chris Statlander, clearly. Maybe she's friends with Pepsi Man. Maybe she said something positive about Pepsi Man, and maybe they're burying her for it. Who knows?
My God, it's been so long.
I know. That'll never die in this company. Where's Tekla, by the way? How do we have an all-in show, Jesse, without Stat and Tekla a part of the build?
I'm assuming she's on a sabbatical.
Maybe. Who knows? That's crazy. Woman carried the company while Mercedes and Tony Storm were out. Can't buy herself onto All-In.
I'm assuming she's on a sabbatical. Which, if that is the case, again, I've advocated for that. I think the talent should be given frequent just breaks. I mean, just to heal. You shouldn't have to wait till you get hurt to take some time off. Take some time off, man. Taking bumps fucking hurts. Take some time off, relax, reset, come back in a few weeks, get back at it. If that is the case, I get it. But that being said, I would not say take a sabbatical around fucking all-in time. That should be all hands on deck time. That's like Roman's gonna take a sabbatical right before WrestleMania. No, all hands on deck for this show. But yes, I think some scheduled time off for the talent is actually a good thing. I mean, a good month or so. Just take a build off. If you work till a pay-per-view, take the next build off and then come back. And I think they have enough talent that they can get away with it. I don't know why she's out though.
Jay White. He goes one-on-one with Jon Moxley. This is a Continental Cup tournament quarterfinal match. Excalibur went on to explain that Jon Moxley has never beaten Jay White before. White has defeated Moxley in the G1 and in the Continental Classic. So we go 19 minutes with this match, which was easily the best thing on the show. And Jay White's fantastic. Moxley, I've enjoyed Moxley in this Continental run than I have more so his world title run, because that world title run was just destroyed by shenanigans and fucking outside interference from the Death Riders, and it was just complete garbage. At least here, these matches come with rules where there's no outside interference, so he needs to win on his own. And we get to see Jon Moxley in a very different light as compared to when he was the world champion. The thing is, Jesse, this tournament has largely been a waste of time. I don't think anybody is genuinely interested in a Continental Cup when we have the Continental Classic. I know they're two different things according to the sickos, but, it doesn't really make any sense to give real estate to two tournaments revolving around the Continental title. I don't really understand it, and I think it's largely a waste of time. Tony does these tournaments, and they just come off very predictable. Now, in this case, it is a blind draw. He makes matches, and they're all blind matches to us. We don't know. There's no brackets. You win and you advance. You lose, you go home. The Continental Classic is a round-robin tournament. You can lose, and it's all based on a point system. That's the difference between the two. So with that said, the predictability of these tournaments in AEW, there's no such thing. You know, the unpredictability, I should say. There's no such thing. It's all very predictable. I don't understand why it would have been such a big deal to give Jon Moxley and Jay White a match here with Jay White going over. Does Jon Moxley need the Continental title at this point? Does he need the Continental Cup and the Continental title? Does he need a major match at Wembley Stadium? Or would you rather trade all that in for a little bit of unpredictability and a little shock and awe in a tournament that has largely been very predictable?
Unpredictability is always better. It is always better. I mean, the last thing you want, especially when it comes to a tournament, is something predictable, because now I just have no drive to be invested in it. I mean, I'll just wait for the end. You know, so if you have a chance to do something that extremely unpredictable, make it make sense, you should always go with the unpredictability, man.
Moxley should have lost this match. Now we are to assume Moxley is absolutely going to Wembley Stadium, so no matter who his blind draw is in the semifinals, he will win that one and then go to Wembley Stadium. But the thing is, Tony thinks that the field is open for a little bit of unpredictability. It's either going to be Nigel McGuinness, who's the hometown guy. It's going to be Claudio, who's a stablemate with Jon Moxley. Are we going to do Death Rider versus Death Rider? I don't know who gives a shit enough to see that match. Or is it going to be Eddie Kingston, who's been off television and has only been on AEW television and Collision mainly for 3 weeks? I don't think he's even made one appearance on Dynamite all year outside the last couple of weeks. So do we go Moxley Kingston, Moxley McGuinness, or Moxley Claudio? What are we looking at here?
Well, we know it's going to be Moxley, right? What's Claudio been doing these days?
Claudio's been doing nothing. He's a henchman.
So why would we expect that to change now?
All right, we eliminate Claudio.
I mean, it sucks. It sucks.
What has he been doing? Why do we expect that to change? You're right. I mean, I don't know why anybody would expect it to change.
Why would we expect that to change now? All of a sudden, we expect this big Claudio push. So I'm assuming that's probably not going to happen. So I mean, and that's just a wild guess. What else is there? You said it's
Moxley, Nigel McGuinness. You interested in that one?
Nigel, I am not, but it does seem like they are trying to give Nigel some shine here. So maybe Nigel goes a little. No, fuck no. Me Moxley.
Or we go Moxley, Eddie Kingston, who have somewhat of a history together.
They do, but they have not been doing anything with Eddie Kingston either.
And Eddie Kingston looks like a shell of what he was before the injury. He's nowhere near where he needs to be, honestly.
He's not into it.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
No, that's 100%. I feel like his heart is not in it, and it shows.
Nope.
I don't know. Again, we talked about this on TNT last night. Jason brought up a very good point. He felt like Jay White winning this match was probably the best course of action. And then they crown a new Continental champion. Jay White theoretically would be the Continental champion because Moxley wrestles every fucking week. So the title is theoretically on the line. Jay White would have become the new champion tonight. Moxley would have nothing to do. He'd enter himself in the Gauntlet, win the Gauntlet, because we talked about MJF winning the Gauntlet for a second year in a row. That's predictable in itself if he wins a second year in a row. Coupled with the fact that we talked about Mercedes winning the Owen 2 years in a row. So we have MJF winning the Gauntlet 2 years in a row. Mercedes winning the Owen 2 years in a row. He felt like Moxley losing this and entering the Gauntlet, winning the Gauntlet, becoming the number one contender, wrestling Ospreay all out was the way to go. And then you give Jay White a shot at Wembley against Claudio or Nigel or Eddie Kingston. Jay White and Claudio would have been a fucking banger match. It's something new, right?
Yeah, the match would have been good.
And at least there would have been another Death Rider in there. He could just take the title back from Jay White.
Yeah.
Was it so difficult to even have? I mean, it's almost like he didn't want to have fun with this tournament. It's just like he's got a very one-track mind. Nigel is from the United Kingdom. I gotta create this babyface, come from behind, fake injury angle in the tournament to give sympathy to Nigel, and we'll have him go all the way only to lose.
Bro beat the CMLL world champion with one goddamn leg, man.
Bro, you're really trying so hard to get people to care about this Continental Cup, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody.
Imagine Kenny Omega going to CMLL and losing to one of the commentators. Imagine Roman. Oh my God. Imagine Roman going to AAA
and wrestling Corey Graves, and Corey Graves beats Roman Reigns. Oh my God.
That's kind of messed up, man. That's kind of messed up.
Oh my God. This match went 19 minutes. I mean, it was good. Jay White's great. White landed a superplex on Moxley. He then signaled for a Blade Runner. Moxley blocked it, headbutted White. He then applied a sleeper. White got Moxley's shoulders down for a very close near fall. He then hits a Blade Runner out of nowhere, goes for a cover. Moxley kicks out. Or Moxley didn't go for a cover. Moxley rolled out of the ring to avoid a pinfall. So White, he gets back in the ring. He throws Moxley in the ring off the Blade Runner. And Moxley gets a chokehold into a bulldog choke on Jay White. Jay White stood, so Moxley shifted into a Death Rider, nailed the Death Rider. Near fall there, Jay White kicks out. I thought he still had some life left in him. I'm like, all right, maybe they will pull off the upset here. No, after the Death Rider, Moxley applied the sleeper, and the ref called for the bell after a very long, dramatic struggle here by Jay White, and the referee eventually called for the bell. 19 minutes, Moxley wins and advances to the next round. You know, we talked about Statlander probably being better off elsewhere and not in AEW. I'm going to add Jay White to that list. I don't think AEW even, I know he's a New Japan guy, and Tony took all the biggest and best New Japan talent from New Japan to AEW. But Jess, there was a rumor that WWE might have been interested in Jay White. I think if Jay White is going to remain with AEW until his contract is up, I think this should be his last ride with AEW. I think after his contract up, he needs to go do something else and take a chance on himself. I don't think they've used him good at all. Who is Jay White in AEW, and what has he done?
He's not been booked well.
No.
And he does deserve better because he is a much better talent than the way he's being booked here. But I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't see him being treated well in WWE. I think they will put him in that vanilla midget bubble, the same bubble they tried putting Adam Cole in. I feel like he wouldn't be a good fit there. When I found out that Hobbs was going there, I felt like that was a good fit. I thought that was best for Hobbs. Not turning out that way so far, but we'll see. I don't see Jay White being utilized in the way that I think he should be treated. I think he's actually better off in AEW, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, I don't think he's going anywhere in AEW. This was one shot here to really kind of showcase Jay White in a very different way, and they failed to do it. They just continue to go with Jon Moxley, ride that Jon Moxley hand, and same old shit every week. Not really. As far as creative, not a good move. We need a little bit of unpredictability here, and I don't know who could possibly give a shit about Nigel McGuinness, sympathetic Nigel McGuinness, getting a shot at Wembley Stadium. Bro, we've been there, done that. He entered the Gauntlet. He got his last hurrah at Wembley Stadium. There was 53,000 people there. Now he's going back to Wembley with 10,000 less people in a match against Jon Moxley to inevitably lose. I don't see the point.
Yeah.
Maybe, if that's even the match. Who the fuck knows what he's going to go with? But right now, we are to believe that Nigel McGuinness is going all the way. I mean, he beat the fucking CML World Champion. Why would he not go to the finals? If I'm the head guy at CMLL, I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I'm at least telling Tony Khan, I'm like, well, you beat my guy. He's got to go to the finals at least. I don't know. After the match was over, Moxley waited for Jay White to stand. It looked like he wanted to shake his hand. And then out of nowhere, David Finlay and Clark Connors, Jesse, the dogs, attack Jay White. So I guess we know what Jay White's doing at Wembley Stadium. So Moxley and Marina left the ring. They had their hands up. They had nothing to do with this. Kyle O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy run out for the save. Gabe Kidd returns and then jumped into the ring to attack Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly. He wrestled in the G1, so now he's back in the States. Roderick Strong ran out to even things here for the conglomeration. He got speared by Connors and Finlay. Brodito and Hangman Page come out. They come on out for the save. So the dogs bailed. And then all of a sudden, Ricochet comes out with the Demand and the Lethal Twist. I guess the Lethal Twist, Jesse, are now part of the Demand?
All right, what the?
Does the Demand have now 6 members instead of 3? Is that what I'm seeing here? When did this become official? Anybody?
They literally added more people instead of disbanding that stable. They added more. They doubled down.
Well, Hangman's in the ring, and he says there's no way they're going to miss Wembley, so he asked if anyone wanted to step up to challenge them. He challenged all teams to meet them under the Wembley Arch at dusk because the Trios champions will be waiting. So what exactly does that mean? Are we getting a straight Trios championship match, or are we getting, like, a fucking Pier 6 brawl with all the Trios in the entire company? Better question is, Jesse, do you find any of this interesting?
No. Easy. No. Not at all. Nope. I found myself a lot of times trying to force myself to get into these stories for the sake of coming on here and doing a podcast on it, on being knowledgeable on it on my channel and just being aware of it. But instead of, like, you know, the story captivating me, I'm like forcing myself to be into it just for the sake of having the knowledge of it for this show. And I can tell you right now, if I was just a fan sitting at home and watching some pro wrestling, I would have changed the channel. It's just not interesting to me at all.
So I just want to update everybody here from what we've already covered and where we are right now on the show. This is going into hour 2 now. The only thing that had any sort of build for Wembley Stadium was to sit down with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Everything else had legitimately, maybe Fletcher and Okada and Takeshita, a little bit. Outside those two things, legitimately nothing else on this show up until this point had anything to do with Wembley Stadium in a meaningful way. No story, lackluster build, everything just seemingly feels like it's thrown at the wall, hoping it sticks.
And spoiler alert, outside of Mercedes and Willow, there's not going to be anything else that's going to fall into that category.
No.
So.
Even though the in-ring action here with Moxley and Jay White was really good, and the ladies, I guess, was decent, right? There was nothing criminally wrong with the opening trios match. It's just like, who gives a fuck? So we got all these guys. Who knows what this means? Remember last week we got Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana coming out and getting in the face of Brodito because Swerve has had a problem with all 3 of those guys. You know, the rumor was that Swerve is going to bring the New Day to AEW and he's going to be in a trios with them and go after the trios championships because he's got history with Brody King and Bandito and Adam Page. Who knows if that's even still the case? Who knows?
Yeah.
No clues or anything was mentioned tonight in regards to that at all.
If that is the case, we don't know. But if that is the case, I fail to see how that's going to be beneficial to Kofi and Austin Creed.
I think it's a terrible move.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about that already, get them on the fucking program and advertise that they're going to be there so that you can actually have a shot at maybe getting over 50,000 tickets sold.
Yeah.
An all-in show with the former New Day being announced for the card is a lot better than a Wembley show without the New Day being announced. That's just the way that I look at it.
It's only going to improve.
Oh, but they got to wait for the big surprise, JD.
Well, surprises don't sell tickets. They don't. Not unless you're doing a last dance type of deal where you kind of made it known that Punk was going to be showing up and returning to pro wrestling. I mean, they sold out fucking 19,000 tickets, which this guy was a part of, based on fucking inside jokes in wrestler terms for 3 weeks. They didn't do any of that here, so who the fuck knows? Anyway, that's the Trios Championship stuff. Nothing to get excited about. Jonathan Cruz, actually Maya World, before we get to Cruz. Renee was backstage with Maya World. She was proud. Renee said that Maya won her championship or retained the championship. Willow comes on in, and she said, remember what I told you that when I beat Tekla for the title, that I'd give you the first shot? So she's now offering Maya World a women's world championship match Saturday on Collision. Why?
I don't know.
Well, first of all, why would Willow want to defend the championship before she gets to Wembley Stadium? Why would she want to risk losing the championship before she wrestles Mercedes? Number one. Number two, why does anybody think Maya would win anyway when you've already given us a build and a program and made it official for Willow and Mercedes? That's number two. Number three, why aren't we finding an opponent for Maya World in the TBS title instead of putting her in a match with Willow? I'm very confused at why they do what they do. Is Maya even going to be at Allin? I don't know.
No.
Seems counterproductive to me. Random matches for the sake of doing random matches. That's what's happening on Collision. If anybody wants to watch that, that's this Saturday. Jonathan Cruz, he stood middle of the ring. This is the former Serpentico. He says he's MJF's personal translator. He said MJF sent him out there to remind all of them and Andrade how little he thinks of them. He said Andrade will never be the real world champion. He said Andrade isn't even a real Latino man. He says he is more Latino and way more guapo. He says if he was in Baltimore, he'd beat him up, but he's not there. He says he's a coward, which is why MJF will always be better than him. So this prompts Andrade to come on out. And Andrade is very angry. He storms to the ring. Power walks to the ring. We get a match. Last seconds. Big back elbow, a DM, and Jonathan Cruz goes down and loses. So MJF's music hit after Andrade cut a promo. He speaks mostly in Spanish. We hear MJF's voice in the background, and a big video comes on the screen, and it's MJF sitting at his mansion on Long Island. And he's in his pool. He's got Triple B next to him. He's got his sunglasses on. He's taking in the beautiful weather that was New York City weather today. So he left, and he says he wasn't there with the pores in Baltimore. He says he is big Hebrew, and he has big influence. He said he found out Andrade would be in Baltimore, so he decided not to be in Baltimore. He says he'll make him regret messing with the one true champion. Andrade then turned and went back to attack Jonathan Cruz, and that's the way the segment came to a close. So no MJF in Baltimore, Jesse. I don't blame MJF for not wanting to be in Baltimore, especially if he was home in his pool all day.
It's like down the street, though, isn't it?
Long Island to Baltimore, no.
No,
That's a good 4.5, 5 hour drive.
Oh yeah, that's not that close.
No, I'm assuming he'd fly first class 45 minutes into Baltimore, but yeah.
Taz made the trip.
What happened?
Taz made the trip.
Taz made the trip. I'm sure he was on Tony's private jet.
Yeah, probably, maybe. I don't know, man.
How you know?
How you know?
How you know? This was fine. I mean, at least they did something here. They're focusing on MJF and Andrade only for the Gauntlet match. Nobody else really matters. Who Tony's got in mind for that? Any surprises? That remains to be seen, but Andrade and MJF will be the primary focus of the Gauntlet match for the number one contendership for the AEW World title. Renee sits down with, well, no, she didn't really sit down. I mean, this was like one of them fucking Seth Rollins, Matt Riddle split screen promos here. We got Willow and Mercedes. This was, I wish this was more like Omega and Ospreay, but they wanted to do something different here with the ladies. So they weren't in the same room. We got a split screen situation here. And Willow said Mercedes has worked her whole life to be perfect with her hair and her ring outfits, but she's not anyone's prototype. She said fans have seen her highs and lows and also watched her win the AEW title. She said star power won't be enough to beat her at Wembley Stadium. Mercedes said Willow was standing over her smiling in Japan when her career almost ended. She said she threw cake in her face. She asked if that's the true Willow everyone loves so much. She told her to keep smiling and called her a dumb bitch at least 3 different times and vowed to take away her smile at Wembley Stadium. Willow left the screen. Why don't you say it to my face? We're in the same building. Come find me. Mercedes said she'd meet her in the hall, and then they eventually meet up, and Willow and Mercedes started brawling. Mercedes dragged Willow to the entrance area. They fought in front of the fans, and then they fought to the ringside where security officials started separating them. Willow broke free. Security eventually dragged Mercedes to the stage, and Willow was in the ring after this Pier 6 brawl in the ring where they had to pry Mercedes away, and that's the way the segment came to a close. This was fine, Jesse. This was fine. There was nothing criminally wrong with this, but Mercedes using dumb bitch 3 different times to get heat here and build some hatred for Willow is a little in excess. I think we should tone that down a little bit. 1 is enough. This almost felt like something that they do next week. So my question is, what do they do next week? Do they even do a build next week? Does Willow get the revenge on Mercedes next week? Who knows?
Who knows?
How you know?
But I did like this spot, this segment. It did feel a little I'm like a little organic. It did feel like there was like some real heat there. So I did enjoy this spot. This was pretty good. This again, like we said before, this was the only other match that felt like it was all in worthy.
Yeah. We will see. I'm expecting this to be a good match at the show. Will it be better than Mercedes Tony Storm? I think it could be. I think it very well could be. I don't know who wins the championship. I mean, they just put the belt on Willow. Did they take it off of her and put it on Mercedes, or did they have Mercedes continue to chase? That's the biggest question. I think this match really does feel like one of the true unpredictable matches at the show, which is good.
I think it should be Tekla, but since it's not, I have a feeling that Mercedes is going to win, and that's why it's not Tekla.
That could be. Prince Nana, he was backstage because he heard Hangman. He wanted to know if Hangman, what he said was correct. So Hangman, remember, he was out there earlier and said he wants all the trios in the company to meet him under the Wembley Arch. Or Arc, and a Pier 6 brawl will happen at Wembley Stadium. Apparently. We don't know exactly what's going on with the Trios Championships. Then the camera looks at Swerve, who's sitting down behind Nana, who asked and said, did I hear that correct? Anyone could challenge for the Trios titles? Swerve said, don't say it if you don't mean it.
Oh.
Okay. So what does that mean?
Oh. It's a brand new day.
It's a brand new day. That could be their name, Brand New Day. You think that would be copyright striked by WWE?
Oh my God, man. That fucking lawsuit will be on the front doorstep, man. There's no way. No. It'll be completely different.
Whose house? Who?
Oh, they can do who. They can't trademark a word.
We'll see. I'm still wondering where the Hurt Business are. Well, the Hurt Syndicate.
Yep. Yeah, same. Yep.
Nigel McGuinness, Hechicero, Continental Cup quarterfinal match. This went 10 minutes. Do you realize that we were nearing the 10 o'clock hour and this was still going on? Nigel wins in 10 minutes, Jesse. Any thoughts on this?
One-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
He came out limping. They even highlighted the limp in Nigel's walk.
Yep.
Nigel caught Hechicero, who charged in with a knee to the head, front chancery submission, and he ended up tapping out.
Man. CMLL World Heavyweight Champion.
What are we doing here?
I'd be so pissed if I'm CMLL, man.
Of course I would be.
I'd be so pissed. You couldn't give me a fully healthy fucking competitor with a good match. And I mean, I'm not saying my guys can't take L's, but you had a one-legged man beat my world champion.
I don't get it. Does Tony genuinely think this is good TV? This could have been 10 minutes that we could have been spared from the 35-minute overrun.
I'd be so mad.
We got Eddie Kingston versus Claudio and Kyle O'Reilly versus Orange Cassidy as the remaining quarterfinal matches. And then we'll have another blind draw. Feels like this whole fucking tournament's been booked blindly. Well, that's what's going on there. I'm assuming Eddie Kingston wins, and I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy winning. Those are my predictions there, if anybody gives a shit about how this tournament's going to end up. And then we got a Kevin Knight and Darby Allin TNT title all in with a video package highlighting what's going on there. Kevin Knight comes on out, interview with Tony Schiavone in the ring. We are now well past the 10 o'clock hour. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. When is the show ending? So Kevin Knight comes out to zero reaction from the Baltimore crowd. So we got a false count anywhere match between him and Darby Allin for the TNT title at All In. Kevin Knight yanked the mic away and told Tony to leave because he was uncomfortable with the questions. He says he's not a young boy anymore. He's a grown-ass man. He says he's the greatest TNT champion of all time. He called Darby to the ring. Darby comes out. Kevin Knight says he isn't going to fight him for free, so if you're safe to come to the ring, come to the ring. Check if he's got anything on him. Are you going to have any exploding skateboards or backpacks on you? Any funny business? Check him. So he had security check Darby. He had nothing. So then he walks to the ring, Jesse, and all of a sudden, Pyro starts blasting off with Darby Allin engulfed in pyro right on the stage. Excalibur says it was either the luckiest pyro malfunction in history or Don Callis orchestrated something here and they planned this attack on Darby Allin. Kevin Knight ran up to Darby in the aisleway. Darby was selling the effects of being blinded by this firework mishap. So he dragged him to the ring, hung him upside down. He wedged a chair against his head, goes off the top rope, and hits coast to coast. Knight left. Medics come and check on Darby. Sting's son, Steve Borden, was at ringside checking on Darby. You know, the Darby and Sting connection. So now Steve Borden apparently is now all elite. Signed a contract with AEW. It's the first I heard of this. Darby said, oh shit, oh fuck, as he's moaning and selling the effects of this. They strap a back brace on him. Fans are chanting for Darby here, and he was wheeled to the back. We get to the back. Kevin Knight approached Darby and told him to stay in his lane. Steve Borden wanted to jump Kevin Knight right then and there, and he was protecting Darby from any further attack by Kevin Knight. Doc Sampson said they didn't have time for this and called for Darby to be wheeled away and into the back of an ambulance. Well, I mean, I guess we got something brewing here with Sting's son getting involved.
Yeah, I can dig that. You know, I think that's a nice little way to get him started. I question the timing of doing this right before All In. You know, but other than that, I mean, that's a good way to get his foot in the door with some relevance. As you know, it seems like they have an idea of what to do with him as they debuted him. Well, which is more than I can say for the Motor City Machine Guns and quite a few others.
Who?
I mean, they had an idea of what to do with him, and they executed it. I'll take it.
The machine guns.
Yeah, he brought those guys out, had them wave to Detroit, and then they never came back.
What's the names again?
Saban and Shell.
Oh, those guys. Oh, okay. Are those the same guys that got buried in WWE's tag team division on SmackDown yet can't find a place on Dynamite? Those guys? Oh, okay. Interesting. You know, my question is, does this lead to a Steve Borden Kevin Knight match next week? Or does this mean Steve Borden's going to challenge Kevin Knight or fight Kevin Knight after All In? Maybe going into All Out. Is this going to be his first feud, his first match, going into a major pay-per-view? I don't know. You know what would have gotten Kevin Knight some genuine heel heat, Jesse? When we have no idea who Steve Borden is, attack this fucking poor soul and beat the fucking ever-living shit out of him and have Darby come to the rescue. That would have gotten Kevin Knight some real heel heat. Maybe they should have did that this week. Instead of doing the whole fireworks ordeal.
That actually would have been a better idea. That actually would have been a much better idea. Kevin Knight knows who he is, so he attacked him for that reason.
Yeah.
Sting found out, got fucking pissed off. Kevin Knight took off and left him to deal with Sting's son, all fucking bloodied and beat up. That would have been so good. So good, man.
I don't know.
That's that was a really good idea.
Yeah, I would have done this reverse. The fireworks ordeal here with him getting kind of engulfed in the fireworks, it was just very, very like cringy. Like it was very hokey. Like why would you do? I guess it plays into the whole thing where he was like booby trapping fucking backpacks and skateboards. But I mean, you need real heel heat on Kevin Knight. He hasn't had an ounce of heat aimed at him at all since he's turned heel and joined Don Callis. I didn't want to know about Steve Borden. He should have orchestrated an attack on Steve Borden instead of orchestrating an attack on Darby Allin, which would then prompt Darby Allin to come to the rescue of Steve Borden, which would then give their match at All In some emotional heat. And who knows, maybe Kevin Knight beats Darby, and maybe we get Kevin Knight versus Steve Borden for the TNT title at All Out in Chicago.
Yeah.
And what are we doing with Darby, Jesse? This guy was a world champion, defended the title on 9 separate occasions in the month of May, and now he's getting engulfed in a fucking hokey segment with fireworks. It's like, do you still feel the same way you did about Darby Allin?
Yeah, I do. That they dropped his world title run. Yeah, that's how I currently feel now. I feel like they wasted the fact that he was world champion and they didn't book him correctly coming out of it. And
TK stole it from Jeff Hardy, pyro exploding in his face. I get maybe he did.
Everything was stolen.
There's nothing original in AEW.
There's nothing original in pro wrestling.
No.
Everything is recycled in pro wrestling, guys. This business has been around for a very long time. You think we're getting original ideas now?
AEW is recycling some of their old shtick from years ago. They're recycling old WWF fucking pyro shenanigans here with Darby Allin. WWE is recycling their own fucking bloodline story from only 3 years ago.
Yep.
They basically ripped themselves off from the 23 Rumble with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns and played out the same thing with LA Knight and Solo Sikoa on Monday. So, I mean, like Jesse said, there is no originality in pro wrestling right now at all.
Nope.
It's very, 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 very apparent. Main event here, Young Bucks, Nick Jackson, Kenny Omega against the Don Callis family, El Clone, Mark Davis, and Jake Doyle. This went 10 minutes. Gee, I wonder who won this match. Omega landed a V-trigger on Doyle. He was on the middle rope. One winged angel. 1, 2, 3, and that was it. I don't really know what this did for anybody. Why was this necessary? Why was this necessary? Other Don Callis family members ran out. They attacked Omega and the Bucks. Adam Copeland runs out to the ring. They kept his music playing, and Baltimore was doing a very good job of singing some Alter Bridge. Christian stepped out, and he looked at what was going on in the ring. He was in no rush to get to the ring whatsoever. He finally ran into the ring to help clear the ring of the heels. He gave Trent Beretta a kick to the dick. Bucks accidentally super kicked Christian when Trent ducked. Copeland accused Matt Nick of doing it, purposely and not it being a mistake. Davis then attacked the Bucks. Everyone brawled to the back, and Kenny Omega remained out in the ring. Ospreay's music played. He walked on out. He asked Omega what he wanted to say to him since before the match. He told him he would wanted to talk to him before the match or after the sit-down, before the match takes place in Wembley. What have you got to say to me after you brought up my 7-year-old son, you prick, says Ospreay. Omega says he only had one thing to say. Security, get his ass out of here right now. So Shivani says, well, he's a vice president of AEW. He can do whatever he wants. Omega then called Ospreay a little English bitch and then did this very cartoonish-like laugh. He says he didn't want to see him until Wembley. Get him out of here. Ospreay says, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. Ospreay then turned and charged to the ring. Security pulled Ospreay off of Omega. As security held him, Omega hit a V-trigger. Omega then bent down and told Ospreay he had one last lesson to teach him. He told Ospreay to take one last look at the belt. He called him a son of a bitch on 3 different occasions. Omega seems to have gone full demonic here. He looked like he needed an exorcism. So he picks up Ospreay. There was the table set up in the trios match that happened in the main event here with the Bucks on the outside by the commentary table. Omega jumps off the ring apron with Ospreay, delivers a one-winged angel through the table at ringside, and he starts fucking rocking back and forth like he's Mick Foley in a fucking boiler room somewhere. Again, this evil, cartoonish laugh, and that's the way the show goes off the air. It left me questioning why any of this was necessary after the sit-down that they had earlier with Renee. Did this add any emotional fuel to the match to you, Jesse?
I mean, it added an interesting layer. I mean, it did. I mean, the thing is, at this point, I'm just wanting the show to end because of this overrun and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it added an interesting layer. I'm now really expecting Ospreay to win, because Pro Wrestling 101 tells me, but this isn't the go home show, so we'll see. But I don't know. It added something extra. I'm not gonna lie and like, nope, mean nothing. I mean, if it's a part of the main event story and something like this happened, it's a part of it. I mean, it's not like doing it for me, but
what did it add? Are we now trying to build Ospreay as the babyface and Omega as the heel because he's going to be entering enemy territory here? He's got the Ospreay's got the home field advantage in the hometown crowd. Are we now trying to make Kenny Omega the heel, quote unquote, going into this match? Which then begs the question: if that's the dynamic that you wanted, why did you take the belt off MJF when that dynamic not only would have been there, but it would have been organic and it would have been natural? Now you're forcing a heel turn on Kenny Omega, or not really a heel turn, but you're forcing Omega to have bad guy tendencies going into a match with the biggest babyface and obviously the hometown guy. I genuinely don't understand, and I'm going to say for the umpteenth time, why they made the decision that they did at Beach Break. If this was what you planned to do. There's nobody in that company. There's nobody in this fan base. MJF himself can never convince me that this is the right idea, that this is the plan, the right plan.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of this. They're trying to now create some heel babyface dynamic going into Wembley Stadium.
They already had that with MJF.
I don't understand it, man. I really don't understand it.
They're trying to cram months of story into a couple of weeks. Kenny is unnecessarily acting like a dick right now. He's literally just doing it just because he has to work heel for this program.
This is the match that Ospreay wanted, and this is the match that's going to appeal to the fucking marks. MJF and Ospreay would have appealed to the pro wrestling enthusiasts because the natural way of life is heel and babyface. Now you're forcing something with Omega that genuinely isn't there. He didn't show any of these tendencies for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And now in the fucking 11th hour, you're doing what you're doing with Omega on this show 11 days before Wembley. Tell me how you think this is the way it should be. How? This is as forced as anything I've seen them do all year, anywhere in pro wrestling. It's a company that's trying to convince you that the decision that they made is right. And we all know that the decision that they made was wrong as soon as they took the belt off MJF. You're never going to convince me that this is the proper match. Never. Give me a fucking break. Top guy, top title, biggest heel in the business. Ospreay should be beating him, not some fucking half-assed heel turn, bad guy tendency, Kenny Omega going into Wembley Stadium. For Kenny to drop the title to a predictable win here for Will Ospreay, and then do what? Where does he go? What does Kenny Omega do after Allin? Does he semi-retire? Give me a break. Ridiculous. That's what I got. That's what Jesse's got. That's your Dynamite review. If you enjoyed the show, God bless you. I mean, the in-ring action wasn't bad, but man, some of the decisions that this company makes, man, you got to sit here and question it. You got to sit here and question it. Doesn't really feel like an all-in build. Everything feels haphazardly put together, and it feels like with 11 days to go, they are throwing shit at the wall, knowing that they didn't do enough coming into tonight's show, and they're trying to give you now way too much, and it shows. We're going to get into your super chats, and then we're going to get on out of here on this Wednesday night. Thank you guys very much for all of your support. Follow us on social media at Chi-Town Smark, Twitter and YouTube, at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo, Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Jesse, what is your Patreon? Link it in the chat.
Chi-Town Smark.
There you go, Chi-Town Smark on Patreon.
Chi-Town Smark on Patreon.
We got some cool stuff coming on Jesse's Patreon.
Sir, sign up, please. We're gonna launch it. I'm probably gonna launch it September 1st.
All right, there you go. Hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Super chats are open. Looks like we will be out of here in record time. Good, because I want to go play some Call of Duty Cold War. I've been addicted to Cold War lately.
Yeah.
The last great COD was Cold War.
That the newest one?
No, that was 5 years ago.
Oh,
you can't get me on Black Ops 7. They fucking destroyed that game.
Did they?
Yeah. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. Join the tap room. All gas, no brakes with it. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Tone VC, $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. Caden with a 199. JD Jesse, top 5 potential opponents for Bailey in AEW. Well, I mean, the obvious is Mercedes. Willow, I would say Stat. And I'd love to see Bailey and Tekla.
Oh, man.
Or Bailey, Tony Storm, if Tony's ever going to return. Lots of good matches further.
Lots of them. I mean, if you got a good in-ring worker, put them with Bailey, bruh.
Yep. Not today, Jay, with 47 months. Hey, Jay, so Dynamite is coming to my area September 2nd, and I've been going back and forth all week. Do you think it's worth it for me to spend my money going? Brother, I'm never going to tell you how to spend your money. I know Jesse and I have been to AEW shows. Now, this was when things were good. But I've only heard that the live experience is really fun. That's all I'll say. I mean, you won't get me into a fucking show nowadays. I just won't go. But give it a shot, man. Give it a shot. Just be in the mindset that it's going to be a long night, because if they're taping Collision after Dynamite, you may be there for 5 hours. That's a long day for anybody. RK the Hedgehog with a 5. Hey JD, if it makes you feel better from this awful show, I cashed in my 120,000 tickets at Dave & Buster's and got myself a Switch 2. That's a smart man right there.
There you go.
Switch 2 for 120,000 tickets? How long did it take you to do that? Holy shit. Mother Lover with a $4.99. These lonely nights, they keep calling out your name. I've tried to move on. I've tried to let go, but these lonely nights won't let me go. Yeah. Yeah. Also with a $1.99, AEW is wasting MJF going into All-In. Shit booking. Deplorable, bro. Deplorable. AJBZ with a 5. JD Jesse, what the fuck did you two eat today? Keep being real and continue to kick ass. Have a great night, you two. What did I eat today? I had, personally, I had yogurt and granola for breakfast. I love either sunny side up eggs with a nice side of healthy toast. I had cinnamon raisin toast today. Or I like yogurt with granola and some banana, blueberries. Maybe both, one or the other. And then for dinner, I had a burrito, chicken burrito, rice, beans, and extra cheese.
What did I have today? I had fast food today because I had a busy day because I had a doctor's appointment. Take care of my kids. And for lunch, I didn't have lunch today. I was too busy. Dinner, we had Chinese food.
There you go.
I've been busy all day today.
And I had 3 coffees today. I had a Starbucks Grande Vanilla Latte. I had a large iced coffee from the coffee shop in town. And then I made a double shot latte with Becky and Seth's new spiced cake. Light roast. So I had 3 lattes today. I'm wired, man. I'm wired. Ready to go.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It does nothing for me. I'll probably be up till 4 o'clock in the morning now.
It is doing something.
Yeah. Lucha Trooper with the 10 months. A Brit and a Canadian in the main event at Wembley for the first time since SummerSlam 1992. England lost the World Cup. We need Ospreay to win. Brother, he is going to win. If Ospreay doesn't win, I will wear a Mets cap on stream.
Slow down there, Chief. He just might lose and chase it for a little bit, man. Relax.
Nah. Nick Williams with a 51 months. This is just a WWE issue, nor a AEW issue. Wrestling is so cold right now, but I'd rather watch social media go after Sony over the no more physical discs. Yeah. Well, fuck Sony. They wanna bring back a live service game that isn't Destiny 2. Fuck Sony. Fuck them.
Yeah, they kind of fucked us on Destiny, man.
Yeah. Jokerface with the 199. Today's my 25th birthday. Happy birthday, Jokerface.
Happy birthday, brother.
See some birthday cake emojis in the chat from my guy, Jokerface. Caden with a 199. Will Athena and Deanna ever escape the Ring of Honor purgatory? No. No, it's over. Their careers are over.
Is this
yeah.
That's where I saw some crap on Twitter about Britt Baker going the Fed. Is that true?
It's fake. It's false.
That's false. Okay.
It's false. Yeah. You know, they got this Rebel Heart show coming up in for Rebel, right? Because Rebel's going through what she's going through. So they got this charity show coming up, which is going to be a very emotional, very great episode of Dynamite in honor of her. Sapp said that Britt's name has been brought up in discussions to maybe be a part of the show. Maybe.
Oh, wow.
But nothing is concrete.
Her best friend, man.
I mean, if she's not on the show, that would be pretty fucking, that would be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, she deserves to be there if she wants to. I understand if she doesn't want to, but
yeah,
she deserves to be there, though.
Yeah.
And shout out to Rebel, man. ALS is a very horrible fucking disease.
Horrible.
Absolutely fucking horrible. And I think what the community is doing for Rebel while she is still here to see it is an absolutely amazing thing, and I'm all here for it.
NM with a $2 super chat. OTS is all gas, no brakes with it. Dummy, yeah. Thank you, NM. And Don Stoney with a $5 super chat. Shout out to Don Tony, Wrestling Soup Spitball Media, and as always, R.I.P. Kevin Castle. Love you, Don. Thank you for being here always, brother. All right, Jesse, that's all we got. Quick night, in and out. Nobody gives a fuck about AEW, and quite honestly, neither do I.
Yeah, man.
Get out of here.
The OTS Family Official League is quickly filling up. I've got a couple of spots left. So if you're watching this on demand and you think your shot has passed, I suggest you reach out to me until I tell you otherwise, because I still got a couple of spots open.
There you go. Get in on that. They may fill up before the end of the night. Who knows?
Yep. Hurry up.
Thank you guys again for joining us here on this episode of AEW Dynamite. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but for those that actually do care and watch us, we really do appreciate your support here on Wednesday nights. We could certainly use more of it. I just wish the shows were better and people would be more inclined to find interest in what we're doing here. But
chat, wrestling is in a lull right now, but good times can only be ahead, man. Just hang it out and wait it out with us. We'll get through this.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Thank you guys very much for all your support. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Patreon.com/Shottown Smart. Make sure you guys go check out all the great content on the channel. TNT was live last night with the Sol Monster. Monday Night Raw, we were live for the Raw review. Friday night, we'll be live for the SmackDown review. Kevin Owens and CM Punk. WWE title on the line. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn the bell for notifications. And I will see you right back here Friday with more on Off the Script. A little different tonight. Instead of doing Striker Best of the Best, I'm going to sound us off with my boys. Some New York, New Jersey thrash from my boys in Condition Critical. I'll see you guys on Friday.
Intensifying feeling my need to kill. Contorted bodies, flying fill. Belly up the shadows from the victims of the rock. Calculated homicide, I will never stop. Excessive for this world, that's why you'll die in dirt. Sliding to the thrill, my plan will sword. Cycle of violence, down to a science. Killing one by one. Homicidal, life so vile. You're the chosen one. Your life has been silenced, evil inside us. Dictate how it's done. Torture, reliance, moral defiance. Killing, the only outcome. Tearing through your flesh like a jockey for the fit. Gasping final breath, your life so